Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Paul, and I am a nerd, and you are lucky enough to be here for the April 2019 Worldox Virtual User Group meeting from Attorney Computer Systems, where today we are talking about how to check for and plan for an update. A lot of times people ask, how do I know if I've got the latest version? What do I do? What do I do if I discover I don't? Well, Mary Jo is going to take that topic and tell you what you need to do. And I'm going to talk about something that we don't see much used these days, but we've had some clients do it in the immediate past, and so we're going to talk about it here. Maybe nobody knows about it. The ability to put documents into a legal hold status so that they're frozen, if you will, and uneditable. So without further ado, I'm going to press a series of magical buttons that will take me to a point where Mary Jo can start to talk about Worldox. And Mary Jo, did we leave Worldox? We did not. I will go grab that while you're starting.
All right, so a lot of times what we want to do is we want to find out if we are on the latest version of Worldox. So to do that, the easiest way that I can tell you to do it is to navigate out to the Worldox folder, and I'm going to get back into my full screen. It's just, I'm sorry, my window is just so hard to get this to work. So I'm going to go out to where we have our Worldox mapped, and I'm going to look at, and do I have control, Paul? There I go. I guess I do. So we have ours mapped out here on our X drive. So we have our apps and our W drive. And so I'm going out there to the Worldox folder, clicking on that, and I'm going to WD Update. And if I go down to wdupdate.exe right here, and I click on that, and this is probably something that managers are going to do. It's not going to be every user is going to do this, but we're going to come in. It's taking me into help because the latest update has some things it wants you to look at. But I will go into the check for updates. So when we do that, it's going to tell us whether or not we have any updates to do. So you have to have a maintenance activation key, which we do, and we're going to check the internet for updates. When I say OK, it pops up and tells me if there's any updates available. Right now, there are 4 updates available on this software on here. This is an old set of Worldox data. So we have 4 updates that are available. And then it asks, do I want to install them now? Well, if I'm just on a workstation and I'm just looking at this just to see if I have updates, and other people are working in Worldox, I can't just say, oh, yes, go ahead and update this now and install them now.
Don't beat around the bush, Mary Jo.
Say no. Say no. You cannot do that right now. This is just a place for you to check whether there's updates available. Then we plan for those updates. Everybody needs to be out of Worldox to ever install updates. We tend to always recommend as a best practice to install the updates from the indexer machine. So you're going to want to log into the indexer machine, navigate right back out to the same location. We're going to go to wdupdate.exe. We're going to do the same thing, check internet for updates. It's going to say yes, that there are 4 updates available or whatever it is. And then you can go ahead and say yes. But it is something that we need to plan for. Everyone, it's very difficult to get everybody out of Worldox because every time you log into your computer, Worldox automatically loads. So it's something that we're going to have to make sure, is everybody out? Do we have everybody closed? We're all good. Now let's go ahead and install the updates. If you don't do that, the updates are going to fail, and it is not going to complete because the files will be in use. If that happens, you're going to have to download and start over, and it can just cause some other problems. So we don't want to just willy-nilly just come in here and go, oh, yeah, I've got updates, and say yes. It's something to plan, something to check for. Yes, I've got 4 updates, or I've got 1 update, or I've got 2 updates. Or it may say your software is up to date. And if that's the case, then you should be fine. I tend to come in and check once a month just in case, because Worldox is constantly releasing, new updates that maybe they don't notify us about to fix this or that or add a certain feature or something like that. So it's always good to just come in here, check about once a month. Is there any updates available? Oh, okay, we'll do them, or we don't have any. That will keep you up to date all the time on your Worldox software and keep you going with the latest features.
And I think something to stress is that most of our clients don't really do this themselves. You really need to know.
It is true.
Without a shadow of a doubt that everybody's out of Worldox. There aren't really all that many good ways to do that. There's things you can check, but you really need to know that everybody's out, because if somebody's in Worldox while you're doing this, the whole thing could go south very quickly. And if you don't know what to do at that point, you're usually doing it early in the morning, because again, people live in Worldox. So most of our clients will simply schedule with us a 7:30, a 7, and 8 o'clock install of an update. If it's a major update, the earlier the better. But keep in mind, Worldox does not open until 9 a.m. Eastern time. So you may run into a situation where you need to get help. And if you're getting that help from us, we may need to get help from Worldox. So keep that in mind. But again,
and if you aren't going to use us and you are going to use Worldox, that is something that you'd call ahead and schedule with them as well. They don't just like to have a support call that, hey, I'm updating, help me now. You know, you want to give them a heads up too and say, hey, this weekend we'd like to do this on, you know, Friday at 5 o'clock or whatever. But they have to plan it within their hours too. So just be careful with that. And you can give us a call too. We can schedule it. We tend to do it in Worldox hours as well, in case anything happens.
Or just before those Worldox hours.
Yep. So
we've gotten pretty good at not having things happen, knock on wood, or fake wood. But nonetheless, we always would do it just before Worldox hours, so that if things do go south, we know they're going to be in at a certain time.
Yep.
So I'm going to go into Worldox, and I am going to talk about legal holds. Now, some people don't really, I guess, people are cloudy on what a legal hold is. So a legal hold is simply that you're taking a document or a group of documents, or maybe all the documents in a particular matter, and putting them into a state where they are separated from the regular Worldox world. They can be locked up so that they're not editable, and they could be both. They could be moved and locked up. Now, if you do lock them up, you can always go in and edit them. You just can't save them on top of the one that you pulled up. So the original document is being protected in such a way that you are maintaining the integrity. It's kind of like a chain of evidence sort of thing. When the police get a piece of evidence, they're very careful to record what happened when it was moved from here to here and who had custody at this point, so that they can provide that audit trail, if you will, of the chain of custody from the time they got that evidence. This is kind of the same thing, because a legal hold, placing a legal hold on a document, is something that is audited in the audit trail in Worldox. So you can see, I placed a legal hold on this document on this date, and I did not release it until this date. So you can see that during that period of time, there was a legal hold on the document, and it was in a state where it was being protected. So how do you do that? It's really quite simple. If you click on a document or select a series of documents, or a group of documents, I should say, they don't have to be all in a row, and then you go up to File, you will find Legal Hold, and you'll notice that it's right in the same section as Archive, and that's because putting a legal hold on a document or moving it into a legal hold status does kind of the same thing that Archive does. Archive actually moves things into a different place in Worldox. Same thing with legal hold. Now, you'll notice when you hover over legal hold that you have a move to and an F lock. The F lock is what I was talking about when I said you can lock it up so that it's read-only and it's auditable, that it was made into a read-only copy, so that nobody can mess with it. Meaning that if somebody wants to look at it, they have to open a read-only copy. And if somebody actually wants to edit the document, they open a read-only copy, which means that they can't save it back on top of that. So first off, I'm going to F-lock this document, and I'll do the 3 that are checked. And it's done that. And now when I try to open this document, it tells me, hey, it's a read-only file. Do you want to open a read-only copy? Yes, that means I couldn't save it back on top. maintaining the integrity of the legal hold, or no just means I didn't know that. Now let's take these same 3 documents and also move them into the legal hold area. Just because you place the FLOC on the document doesn't mean that it's not still intermingled with all the other documents. Now, we're getting down to jurisdictional rules here. Do you need to move them out to a separate area? I don't know. You'd have to check. You'd have to understand the rules that surround placing something on legal hold and what you're obligated to do when there's a discovery request, and all the different things that surround that. But let's talk about how to do that. So file, legal hold, move to. Now it says, what files do you want to segregate? So this is the moving to a separate place part. I'm going to continue, and now they're gone. And what you see then is that now the system can't find the file that's in my file list because it's no longer in that location. Let's talk about that. I'm going to go out to Cabinets. I'm going to go to Client Files. And those of you who've ever looked at the cabinets this way, you'll notice that there's always an active. That's where your active files are. And now, because we've archived files before, there's an archive area for client files. And now, because we've put something in legal hold, there's now a legal hold area. I'm going to go to legal hold. I'm going to City of Mesa, and that's where we're going to find these 3 documents. Okay, maybe they weren't in the City of Mesa. I was looking at favorite files, so they may be spread out throughout places. But this is where those documents end up. So if you segregate them, they are now gone from your regular client files view. In a minute, I'll tell you how to include them in a search. I just showed you how to navigate to that folder. Putting an FLOC on it does not segregate them, but it makes them so they can't be changed. And of course, doing both means you're putting them over here in the separate area. You're locking them up so that nobody can mess with them. Or even if they try to, you'll know who tried to, which is kind of cool. And so you can either move them, you can lock them, or you can do both. I think I find that most firms that are dealing with legal holds, because they're usually anxious to do things exactly the right way, they do all 3. They do both of them. In other words, the third option, which is to do both. They FLOC them and they segregate them. Okay. Now, one more thing to mention, and those of you who've ever done archiving, you know what I'm going to mention. I'm going to go ahead and go to Client Files. I'm going to do a search in Client Files, and where it says search what, this is the same place you go to tell it that you want to search the archive, and it's the same place you want to go to tell it that you're going to search legal hold. So when you're doing a search, no matter what it is that you're searching for, if you want to include legal hold documents, segregated legal hold documents, I should say, not FLOC'd, but non-segregated legal hold documents. If you want to include segregated legal hold documents, you need to go ahead and check that box so that it looks in that special area where it puts those legal hold documents to get them out of the main document stores. And that's that. It's pretty straightforward, but we've never really talked about it. So there it is, legal hold and everything about it. Next month, we're going to talk about the salvage bin. Always fun to talk about the salvage bin. There's always some confusion about that. Where is it? How do you get things back once they're put in the salvage bin? What's the best practice for allowing people to delete files? All that stuff. Mary Jo will take that topic. And I'm going to talk about checking out and checking in documents. There's always confusion about that, so it's always a good topic. I think the last time we covered it in the virtual user group meetings was about 2.5, 3 years ago. So we're going to take a trip back through the checking in and checking out functionality within Worldox. And of course, if you've ever been to one of these events before, you know I'm not going to let you go until I have shown you how to get to all the exciting content that we have on our website. Basically, what you do is you go to attorneycomputersystems.com, noticing my emphasis on that last S in the word systems. You hover over or click on the word videos in the main title bar. I have clicked on it. For some reason, we're running a little slow today, so I'm going to wait patiently, or maybe I haven't clicked on it. Yeah, see, there we go. Sometimes I think my patiently waiting is because I'm old and I'm not clicking on things like I used to. We have 6 different titles in our video series. 4 of them are live events. 3 of those live events are virtual user group meetings. You know what those are because you're currently in a Worldox virtual user group meeting. The other live event is our coffee pot webinars. This is where I bring somebody in from a company that offers a separate product that integrates with or adds value to one of the core products that we work with, being Tabs and Practice Master and Worldox. We have them describe their company, they describe their product, they demonstrate it, they quite frequently will spell out the pricing, and then we get to ask them all sorts of questions. So it's kind of fun. It's a good way to see things that are good add-on products that bring value to Worldox or Tabs or Practice Master. In addition to the 4 live titles, we also have 2 pre-recorded titles. Mary Jo has her eBytes video series where she takes really cool things that can be explained quickly and records a short video about it. These are usually 2 or 3 minutes long, something really cool that we can explain very quickly. And she records 1 each month for Tabs, 1 each month for Practice Master, and 1 each month for Worldox. We also, for those things that take a little longer to explain, we have our Paul and Mary Jo show where I or Mary Jo will take a broader topic or a deeper topic and spend 10, 15, sometimes 20 minutes going into all the intricacies, getting into the weeds on that particular topic, but one that can't be explained and demonstrated as quickly as one that would be in an eByte. I'm going to take you to the more info for a live event just to show you what's available there and how it might differ slightly from the more info for a non-live event like the eBytes or the Paul and Mary Jo show. We always have the title of that title and that group of videos, and we have what it is. This is the Worldox Virtual User Group, and here's what that is. And if it's a live event, the first item will be registration information and a description of what the next live event is, along with fields to fill out and a registration button to register for that live event. Keep in mind that even if you are not going to be around when the live event is performed or put on, but you have an interest in that topic, go ahead and sign up anyways. We don't care that you don't show up. We've got plenty of room for those that show up and those that don't. And those that don't, we know signed up because they wanted to be the first on their block to know when the video was actually released. And having signed up, that means that Patty's going to email you immediately after that video is live, and you'll know that it's there ready to review, even though you weren't able to attend the live event. And then as you scroll down even further, you'll find pre-recorded versions of everything we've ever done, whether it be live or one of those pre-recorded titles. This being the webinar that you're currently in is currently in post-production, but as we scroll down a little, we find all the videos from all the past years of Worldox Virtual User Group meetings in this particular example. So that's it. These videos are available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. There is absolutely no cost to using them. So please take advantage of them. People tell me that they stay up all night watching them. I find that a little strange, but whatever works. Everybody have a good rest of the day and a good rest of the month, and we will see you in May. Bye-bye.